I have always had a lifelong connection to nature, and I've pretty much always hated footwear. And so over time, I was called the Barefoot Gypsy. Always moving around, always hiking from here to there, no shoes. It was just my thing. Um, but nature, it has always felt really magical to me. It's always felt like there was something there that was just magic. And it was the only way for me to really be able to describe it. I created Gypsy Yoga, 8 or 9 years ago? Or actually, I take that back. I brought Gypsy Yoga to others 8 or 9 years ago. I created about 12 or so years ago. But it was something that I just made up. It was something that developed that I did nightly or during the day, that helped me feel amazing. It helped me feel beautiful, more in tune with my body. I slept better. I had a better attitude. There were so many benefits. And because I'm ADHD and I'm the kind of person that's like, well, if this is so wonderful, I can make a class out of this. I can bring this to other people. And so I did. And when I started bringing it to others, it was in a studio setting. And I really, really struggled because it was never really meant to be inside. It was never meant to be a studio practice, a regular weekly thing that I held classes for. I really just wanted to teach people how to feel the way that I felt. And I didn't have the verbiage and I didn't have the training at that point to be able to do that properly. And so I realized that being in a studio was just not as healing feeling as I wanted it to be. So I brought it outside and I held classes outside. And in that interim of things, I wound up inadvertently trying to conform to the mainstream yoga and health and wellness expectations. And I've never been a person that can conform to anything. I just really wanted to bring this feeling and this way of being to other people. And so I started doing other classes and I started trying to offer other things and I started trying to kind of fit into that mold where, I was accepted. And that really brought me down. Yeah, I was bringing it outside. I've always been a huge, huge supporter and encourager of going outside and being in nature and nature immersion. But I couldn't understand how to translate this wonderful practice to other people so they would get it. And I tried different verbiage. I tried different ways of figuring out how to, get people to kind of get on board. But that was hard. And I just really started to lose touch with that original magic and that original drive. I did breathwork classes and I did grounding, earthing classes, and they didn't have that something that I was trying to translate. And then I went through the last 3 years where I have felt so very lost. I learned about being ADHD. I wanted to share that with everyone. And all of the wonderful, quirky, amazing things that means for who I am and explanations of the way that I am. But that took a lot of time out. And then over the last year year and a half, my husband and I decided that we were going to completely and utterly change our lives. Not that we hadn't planned on doing this, at some point. We've been planning this for 10 years. But we finally sold our life, sold our home, everything that we owned for the most part, moved out to the middle of the forest in a little tiny log cabin, and completely changed our lives. And while we were doing that, I got hit super hard with perimenopause. And I went a little crazy. And, we had so much that we had to do to get this house ready for winter that the focus was always get it done, get it done, get it done. Your work boots on, your work gloves on, just get it done, plus perimenopause. And I lost track of myself. And I really did lose touch with myself along the way. But then when it kind of through this whole transition of moving and, entering into a new life and a new way of living, I started to learn about grounding. Now, you might ask, well, Heather, you already knew about grounding. I knew about nature immersion, and I knew about forest bathing, and I knew that they were amazing. But what I didn't know, and, it kind of was that aha moment for me. But what I didn't know is the enormity of what grounding does to your body and to your psyche. And it was the magic that I was missing. I learned all that I could about what grounding was, which is ridiculously simple, but very technical and very scientific. And I started delving into scientific reports and different experiments that were done and different studies that were done through huge schools, Stanford, Harvard, UCLA, all over the world, and how absolutely important grounding is. And that the magic of grounding is what I was trying to translate with Gypsy Yoga or with any of the other classes that I was offering. It wasn't just the movement medicine or the breath work or the meditating or the shadow work or the journaling or the gathering in women's groups. It was a culmination of all of that while grounding. Well, I was grounding and I didn't even realize it. So now that we have gotten through this first winter here at our homestead, which is called Whispering Oaks, my mind is now super duper excited and reeling and how I can bring to you what I now know is earth energetic healing. I still want to do Gypsy Yoga. I still want to do the meditations. I still want to do the forest bathing and nature immersion. But I'm feeling so very re-inspired now, especially now that we live in the middle of the forest and I'm able to get out and talk to the trees and get to know them better. I'm just going to merge all of these practices together, and I'm not going to put any pressure on myself. I'm not going to give two whips about what anybody in the yoga, wellness, whatever community has to say about, well, you should do this and you should do that. No, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do it the way that I feel it, because that is my superpower, is being able to feel, being able to sense, being able to channel the beauty of this energetic healing that is from the earth into movement medicine and breath work and meditation and self-love and awareness. So I'm calling this class, I don't know if I want to call it a class or a gathering, I want to call it Barefoot Awakenings, because we will do all of that, all of these different movement and meditation modalities while we're barefoot and while we're learning the importance and the science of what grounding really is. And I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself. Like I've said before, I don't like the rat race. I don't like having to post so many times a day and make content and, make sure you get that right shot. And that takes so much away from a intuitive and organic moment. I have some business ideas in place, but we're just starting here at the homestead. We are just beginning to formulate this new life and this new way of living, which is very much connected to the earth. And so I just kind of wanted to give you this information because now I am feeling like I'm in the right space at the right time. And this is what I'm supposed to do. I finally have the answers and the information that I need. So I'm hoping that you will follow me into the forest, whether it be at a state park or a nature preserve, or even here at Whispering Oaks at some point when we're ready, and learn how to utilize grounding with a plethora of different modalities to create a practice for you at home that can bring an amount of awakening to you and love and self-acceptance that it has for me. So I'm going to let you go now. I'm going to talk about this a whole lot because I'm so excited about it. And now I just want everybody to know. But I do hope to see you. I hope that you will trust enough to follow me into the forest, and we will make these discoveries and these awakenings together.